Hello, Gate Scholars, and good evening. Welcome to our 2014 virtual send-off. We're glad that you all can join us this evening, and we hope to provide you with a lot of information that will prepare you for your first few weeks or month at campus. So we have a team here that will be ready to answer your questions in our comment section. So feel free to write down your questions and also engage with us with the hashtag AskGMS. My name is Kelvin Harris, Senior Relationship Manager with the Gates Millennium Scholarship Fund, and also lead senior manager for the Leadership Development Programs team. Today, we want to walk with you for our agenda here. So we will do a welcome of our staff, and you'll get to meet them shortly. But I also want to kind of give you the goals of the program. So you'll see our topics that we have for you today. We will talk about the high school to college transition, what to know before you go, the campus engagement service, how to manage your scholarship funds, how to seek out help, challenges that you may face on campus, strategies for outreach. We'll talk about our ambassadors program, and we'll also field questions and answer questions that you all may pose. Before we begin, I would like to discuss the program structure just so everyone's familiar with how the Gates Millennium Scholarship is set up. As we all know, the Gates Millennium Scholarship is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has tasked UNCF with the job of the administrator of the scholarship. Along with UNCF, we have the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, the Asian Pacific Islander Scholarship Fund, and the American Indian Graduate Center Scholars. All four of these organizations make up the Gates Millennium Scholarship Program. Now, I would like to introduce you to some of our staff members that will be communicating with us today.
Hi, duckies. It's Auntie Panda Bear, Christina Wong Poi. I'm a senior relationship manager on the outreach and recruitment team. And our next staff member is Maria.
Is that me? Hi, everyone. Hi, scholars. My name is Mireya Saldaña, and I'm the Campus Engagement Manager, also known as CEM, based out of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund here in Los Angeles, California. I work with scholars in the Southern California region, so if you're attending schools in Southern California, definitely want to meet, and please reach out.
All right.
Hi, duckies. It's Auntie Panda Bear.
Hi, guys. My name is Marcus Ware. I am the Campus Engagement Manager for the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast. I'm also a Gates Scholar alum from the class of 2004. Next up, I'll introduce my fellow alum, Gabriel.
Check.
Oh, I can't hear what Gabriel's
Southern California, definitely want to meet.
Am I on?
I'm not going to test this.
Havaday, this is Meg Roberto from APIASF, and I'm the Director of Student Programs and Leadership. And I'm excited to bring on another staff member to speak with you. Reba. That's good.
Hi, everyone. My name is Reba Monachin, and I'm Senior Relationship Manager for the Alumni Program. I am helping out today in place of Kalindi Doshi, and we'll be talking about the Campus Engagement Manager Program.
Next up, we will have Gabe.
Can you hear me all right?
Reba.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Evans Watson. I'm an outreach coordinator for the communications and outreach team. And later on, I'll be speaking with you about the GMS Ambassador Program as well as outreach.
So now that we've become familiar with some of our staff members, I would like to talk with you about some of the programs that we offer within the Leadership Development Programs team. One of the programs that we offer is our GMS Mentoring Program. Many of you may have received the email about this already, but it's a web-based mentor matching platform that would allow you to select a mentor of your choice. We also have campus-based organizations who are led by campus-based leaders. These are our established leaders within the GMS community who are already on your campus waiting for your arrival. As you all should know by now, we offer our leadership conferences. This is the conference that you will attend your freshman year. For those who live in the East Coast, we'll attend the conference here in the Metro DC area in Chantilly, Virginia. And those in the West Coast will join us in San Jose, California. Alongside those conferences, we also offer an alternative spring break opportunity where we will visit a large major city within the United States and participate in various service projects. There are other national conferences that we participate in, which includes the National Conference for Race and Ethnicity, also known as NCORE, the Institute for Teaching and Mentoring, and also the American Library Association Conference. These are all opportunities that you'll be able to take advantage of at some point in time during your time as Gate Scholars. Aside from the programs, we also offer academic empowerment. Through this network of programs, we will provide you with a transcript review. Every January, we will send out messages to all of our freshman students to ask you to send us your fall semester transcripts. This is just to ensure that you are progressing well and that we can assist you in your academic growth. Now that we've talked about your transcript review, we also help you plan for graduate school. Through this, we offer various graduate school institutes and small graduate school fairs that you'll be able to attend at various programs. Our campus engagement manager, one you've met today, will also assist you in these endeavors as well. So once you graduate from your undergraduate institutions, you'll become alumni members of our program. You'll still be able to engage with us through our Alumni Association. Our Alumni Association meets annually, and that is a part of our alumni programs, and there'll also be a newsletter and an updated website for your review in the next couple of months. So stay tuned to all of our leadership development programs.
Next up, Gabe is going to talk about the high school to college transition. This is a lot of the information that people have been asking questions about. So pay close attention to the information, and I will pass it off to Gabe.
Hello. Yes, this is Gabriel Bell, Coordinator of Student Services and Operations with the Graduate Center Scholars. And I just wanted to just take a little bit of time to share some thoughts with you with the brief time that we have. I'm excited, first of all, that we're able to engage you in this manner, but allow me to share some thoughts, and hopefully this will be helpful to you. So when we talk about the high school to college transition, that of course addresses all of you that are on this webinar. What is it that you need to go before you go? What is it that you need to know before you go? There's so much that's packed into this whole experience, and for me to give you the magic bullet within the brief time that I have is not going to happen. So I want to just share some thoughts with you that might help you as you are making this transition. If you think about it, your experience thus far has been preparing you for this transition. Everything that has led up to your life to this point is going to allow you to make that switch between your experience in high school into college. So everything that you've learned, obviously you've made the cut with Gates. You're a Gates Scholar. So think about how you can begin to apply those things in a new environment, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. High school and college are different in many respects. One of the things that you will find probably significantly different is the study and the material that you'll be looking at, the way that you'll be testing in college. So I just wanted to kind of share with you, you might be very used to the way that you studied this far in your life. Be prepared to look at different ways of looking at material. Be prepared to look at different ways to study for your material. You'll find that your professors are going to be similar, but you're going to find that there are going to be some professors that will be significantly different. Some professors might not come from the United States. They might have different types of barriers, cultural barriers and language barriers. So begin to prepare yourself mentally for that. Begin to look at different ways to study material and whether it's using note cards or using mnemonic devices. So prepare yourself for that. Begin to talk to maybe some of your professors on campus to see how exactly you need to prepare what it is you're going to be looking at. If you're going to be in a mathematics course, entry level, maybe there's certain books that you can begin to look at by reviewing your syllabus, or again just contacting the professor. Maybe there's a certain history book in your history class that you can begin to review prior to even getting to campus. And that's another point that I'd like to bring up is as you are looking at going to college, it's going to be so important, the relationships that you create. The ability to network not only with your peer group, your friends, other scholars, but having the ability to communicate and create relationships with your professors is going to be integral to your experience. You'll find that professors want to engage you, they want to hear from you, so it's important for you to be able to create that relationship with them. Ask them if there's any time that you can meet with them during office hours to discuss certain topics. Ask them if there's if maybe you're not performing as well as you would like in a certain class. If you're able to approach a professor or even a teacher's aide, maybe a resource center staff member, and ask them about ways that you need help. So in creating that network, maybe your first year, you'll be able to continue to look at those folks that are involved in that and always go to them if things get difficult, or if you approach a problem that you can't solve, maybe they might be able to point you in the right direction. Which brings me to another point. You'll find that at high school, your experience there was very much, you're very used to that type of environment. There's a lot of things that were doled out to you as part of the experience. In college, you'll find that it's a little bit more free-flowing. You'll have to be an advocate for yourself and search out resources on campus. Like I said, if you're going to approach a professor, or if you're going to look at enrolling in a tutoring service, going to the multicultural center, going to the library, these type of things offer so many different resources for you, and maybe the one that will make the difference. So be open to that. Look at resources not only on your campus, but maybe there are things off campus that you can look into as well as far as resources go. Begin to talk to, again, your friends, even your family, staff members and faculty on campus about different ways that you engage the resources that are available. If you think about it, the GATE scholarship is paying for your cost of attendance. And one of the line items in your cost of attendance is tuition and fees, and many of your fees are covering much of these tutorial services and resources available on campus. The last point I'd like to just talk about to you and my brief experience here on board with AIGCS and the Gates Millennium Scholarship is that there's so much involved in paying for college. That stressor is one that is relieved by the Gates Scholarship in large part. But for many scholars, and I've noticed as I've been on board staff here, is that a lot of scholars don't understand the awarding process and how important that is to your experience. So what I want to say to you is, if you haven't looked at the resource guide that we provided you in your scholar notification packet, I highly recommend you do so. Begin to acclimate yourself with the way that the scholarship works. Remember that the GATE scholarship is a last dollar scholarship. So if you're receiving other scholarship items, your GATE award is going to be offset by that. So I just want to end with encouraging you all to be advocates for yourself. Begin to inform yourself about how the GATE scholarship works. Begin to engage your financial aid office, as some of you have already done at this point in the game, but create those relationships and the network there with your financial aid staff so that they'll be able to share with you those important pieces of information about how to expect money. Should you send a check request to cover your books and supplies? Do you need to set up direct deposit? Those folks understand exactly how that needs to happen at your school. Us here at Gates, your Gates staff members are always going to be here. We're looking forward to talking to you on the phone if we haven't already, communicating with you. So always reach out to us. We're waiting, and we're excited for not only your first year, but your whole educational and professional career. Be your own best advocate, and let me end with saying you have been selected as America's leaders for the future. I say you're leaders now, and you are the one that's going to lead you into the success of your educational process. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to pass it over with that, with regard to financial aid and understanding the GMS awarding process, to something that's important. How do you manage your scholarship funds? And Meg will go ahead and get into that.
Hi, this is Meg Roberto. I work at the Asian Pacific Islander American Scholarship Fund, and I'm really excited to be here with you all tonight. Gabe made some phenomenal points, and it's really about, when you are managing your scholarship funds, about being proactive and being your own best advocate. So for tools specifically, you need to know and have your information, and you have all of the tools right in front of you, whether that's in your packet, which I know is a little dinosaurish. It's paper, it's a book, packet, you got to open it up, but I definitely think you should keep that with you and make sure that it's always in your dorm room or wherever you're going to be living this next year. Second is your resources on campus. Your financial aid office is something that you need to locate immediately, and they should become your best friends. People should know you in there. You should be nice to them. You should probably bring them a cookie every once in a while, because they are the ones that are going to help you make sure that you have everything that you need when it comes to your scholarship funds. And especially those of you who I see in the Twitter feed and on Facebook who have multiple scholarships, these are the people that can really help you navigate that and make sure that you're getting everything that you need in the current year and years to come, because it's going to be really important as you go and do more things, whether that's study abroad or anything else in the future. And then the other tool is your partner organization. So it is really important to know who is your partner organization first, whether that's HSF, UNCF, AIGCS, or API-ASF. When you are reaching out, make sure that you make contact with them before it becomes an emergency. That's the point of being proactive and not a procrastinator. And that will be incredibly important, and always to copy, when you are thinking through different things, your partner organization in emails, just so you can keep track of all of the things that you're doing. So Gabe kind of mentioned it before, some big questions. Is it going to be a direct deposit? Am I going to get an actual check? These are all things, again, that all of these tools will help provide for you. So first go to your booklet, get to your FAO, your financial aid office, and then also your partner organization. And the top tips is really just making sure that you are on top of it. You're all chosen because you're incredibly, incredibly special, incredibly unique, and we see in you a great potential, and great leaders always do things consistently, but they also advocate for themselves because they know in the end that this is going to be for a greater good. So with that, I definitely want to pass it off to my fellow staff member and make sure that you understand how we work with you on campus in your regions. So off to Reva.
Hi everyone, this is Reba Monachin again. I've been answering some of your questions on Twitter and they're awesome, as well as seeing all of your comments. So thank you all for all of your questions. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Campus Engagement Manager pilot. And that is something that we started a few years ago and currently have 4 Campus Engagement Managers in 4 different regions. So if you see on the screen right now, you'll see the Northeast region that consists of Delaware, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Boston. So if you have schools in that region, or the Southeast region, that is the DMV area, as well as North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. You are in Marcus's region. Or in the Southern California region right now, you may know Mireya Saldana. If you are going to school in one of these areas, you have a campus engagement manager. We're currently in the process of hiring one for the Southwest region, but if you have schools in that area as well, we will also be having a campus engagement manager in that area. And so what GMS did was look at the areas where we have a very large population of scholars, and we decided that we were going to put people in your regions to attend your institutions and talk to your administrators, to have connections with your financial aid officers, and then also be able to meet with all of you if necessary. So if you get on campus and you're having an issue with something about around your financial aid, or you're having trouble contacting someone in the academic advising office, or something similar to that, where you need someone from GMS to help advocate or just someone to talk to, the campus engagement managers are awesome GMS staff members that will come to you and are in your areas and at your schools very frequently. So we wanted you to know about these areas. And so hopefully many of you are going to school in one of these regions and have already reached out or have been reached out to by your campus engagement manager. Something else that the campus engagement managers do is work very closely with what you may have heard of, the campus-based organizations. And so these are actually students just like you all who have taken on a leadership role within GMS and on your individual campuses. So at institutions that have about 10 scholars or more, many of our very large institutions already have campus-based organizations. We have students who have taken on a leadership position, and like any other student organization, so on your campus you may have a glee club or some other club. This is very similar to that, but representing GMS. And so if you are at a large school, UC Berkeley, NYU, Emory University, these are all institutions that have campus-based organizations. And this is a great way for you to connect with other GATE scholars on your campus. And so whether it's through the GMS staff member, the Campus Engagement Manager, which we often call the CEM, or your other peer scholars at your institutions that are campus-based leaders, we hope that you get connected. And if you need academic support, we're here for you. We provide that. If you need leadership development, these folks can also talk to you more about that and what that looks like on your campuses and with GMS.
All right, with that, we will pass it off to our beautiful CEM for the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation, and she's going to talk about how you seek out help on campus.
Hey scholars, so I've been doing this role as CEM for the past 2 years, and I've learned a lot about sort of our GATES, you know, the way you guys think. So I wanted to provide you with some feedback. The first major feedback that I really wanted to share with you is don't be afraid to ask for help. and do it early. You know, as GATE scholars, you guys are amazing. There's a lot of pride, though, associated with being a GATE scholar. And a lot of you think that you shouldn't have to ask for help because you are a GATE scholar, that you should walk on water, and that's not the case. You know, a lot of you think that you should be able to do things on your own, and that asking for help or seeking out resources is a sign of weakness or an inability to do something. But it's not. On the contrary, it's a sign of leadership. You know, the smartest students are the ones that seek out services because they don't want to lose out on resources that will help them excel and be the best they can be. Your colleges are packed with tons of resources that you've already paid for through your tuition, so you might as well use them, and other students are using them as well, so make sure that you take advantage of it. So for example, if you're feeling down or you're feeling homesick, or you know, you're not really feeling like a part of the campus, you know, go to the counseling center. All of your schools have counseling centers where you can talk to someone who is unbiased and is willing to help and assist you. If you are struggling in a class, and this is a big one, because you know, college is very different than high school. If you're struggling in the class, visit your academic resource center. You know, they offer study skills workshops, time management workshops. You're going to have to change your study skills while you're on college. It's very different than high school. And then also sign up for tutoring. That's a huge one that I've noticed with all of our freshmen. If tutoring is available and it's usually free, sign up for as much tutoring as you can get for all of your classes during the first week of school. Again, don't wait until the last minute until you're failing a course. And even if you don't think you need it, it's not gonna be you know, it's going to only assist you because you're going to be engaged in the subject matter, and you're going to, you know, only get a better grade by sort of being a part of being engulfed in that subject. If you need help writing a paper, you know, when you're in college, you're going to have tons of papers that you have to write, and many of them will be very long, and so it's really important that you have someone looking at your paper, you're getting feedback. So go to the writing center. Again, it's a free service that a lot of students don't utilize. If you get sick, and that's going to happen, you're going to be, you know, maybe not sleeping well, or, you know, for whatever reason you're not getting enough rest, you might get sick. So go to your health center. Again, it's a free service that's paid for through your tuition. And if you're having roommate problems, and that's a big one that we see, especially freshman year, you know, talk to your residence advisor, also known as an RA. They're there to assist you and really help you sort of navigate those issues. And lastly, I've met a number of students who have learning disabilities, and a lot of times you don't realize that you have resources on campus, and there's an office for students with disabilities. You can actually go to them, get assessed, and then they can provide accommodations for you, whether it's longer time for exams or assistance with, you know, homework, whatever you need, they can work with you. The other thing I wanted to share is that many schools have offices and support programs that are specifically for students of color, first-generation students of color, minority students, LGBT students, so really take advantage of that as well. These are places where you can find like-minded, similar students with very similar backgrounds. You know, you can also find those mentors on campus, whether it's your advisor, your RA, your professors, if you're a part of sports, your coach, other people that you've built relationships with, including GMS staff, are here to help and support you, and all of us are on Facebook, so you can always reach out that way. And of course, you know, find out if there's a if there are GATE scholars at your institution. Many of you probably don't realize that there are other scholars on campus, so you can actually search for them through the Scholar website. There's a really cool search function where you can type in your institution, and it'll give you a list of students. It won't give you their contact information, but you can find it through your school's directory. The other big piece of advice that I want to offer to you that I've seen, you know, it's a sort of a common issue with some of our freshmen, is that you should pursue your passions and strengths and really follow your bliss. Many of our students will go into their institutions majoring in STEM fields, you know, wanting to pursue medicine or maybe law. And sometimes it's something that you want to do on your own, but a lot of times it's a lot of pressure from family members, from parents, or from mentors who really see those areas as areas of prestige and, you know, wealth. But, you know, it's okay to find, college is a wonderful experience. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's okay to change your major and pursue something that doesn't that you want to pursue, and it doesn't make you a failure. On the contrary, pursuing something that you enjoy and excel in will lead you to incredible career opportunities. So don't be afraid to explore other majors or paths. Give yourself permission to be happy and fulfilled. There's a really cool saying, it's one of my favorites, that says something like this: do something that you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. That's really important. If you find something that you love, you're going to do magnificently in. One recommendations I have for you in terms of majors is, visiting your career center early and often. They can help you find internships, externships, volunteer opportunities. These are all the things that will expose you to careers and help build your skill set. They also offer workshops on how to find a major if perhaps you're not in the right major, or maybe you're undeclared and really don't know what you want to major in. They also have these really cool assessments. They're called interest inventories. And what they do is they basically help you identify areas that are of interest to you and how they correlate with majors as well as career choices. Also, do job shadowing, informational interviews, speak with your academic advisor, professors about opportunities in the specific major or field. And all of this is going to help you really discover your passion and the right major for you. I'll leave you with this. Many of you guys are very stubborn. I think that's great, but we don't want you to, you're stubborn in that you don't want to change your major, and you only do it until your GPA plummets. You're on the verge of being academically dismissed or potentially losing your scholarship. So we don't want you to be in that predicament. Ask for help. Really think about what you're majoring, and put your best foot forward, and you're going to do really well. And I look forward to working with all of you. And now I will pass it on to my colleague, Evans Watson, who will talk about the Ambassador Program and strategies for outreach.
Good evening, everyone. It's Evans Watson. I'm back again. I am the Outreach Coordinator for the Outreach and Recruitment Department. And I'm going to talk to you about outreach and some of the strategies that we're using for outreach. One of the things that we're trying to actively pursue is recruiting more GMS ambassadors. We have a website that's, an ambassador is someone who, a GMS ambassador is someone who has access to GMS materials and can go out into the field and speak at GMS events about the greatness of the scholarship fund. What we want you to do is, as a GMS ambassador, go to events and tell them your experience as a GMS ambassador. What are the things that you can expect as a GMS recipient? Some of the great things that happen as a student that receives a GMS scholarship. We want your experience. I can speak about the scholarship all day, about the requirements, when you need to turn in your information, but you breathe life into the actual scholarship. You are the people who receive it. You are the ones who worked hard to fill out all of the essays for the application. So we would like you to work in the field with us and be our eyes and ears to discuss the greatness of the scholarship. One of the ways to become a GMS ambassador is to go to www.gmsambassador.org. We want you to go there so we can get you signed up, give you the materials that you need to go out into the field, and actually do events that we can't get to. We don't have a large staff of hundreds of people that can go out into the field and discuss the greatness of the scholarship, so we want you to do that. So one of the things that we're also doing is making sure that we have people in strategic areas. So the more people we can sign up, the more people we can have going to events in cities like Chicago, Houston, Philadelphia, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle. So we want you to sign up. We want to hear your story. People in high school, people in your schools, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, need to hear your story. So we want you to sign up and be GMS ambassadors. Thank you very much and have a great evening. And as a follow-up, we're going to have our Pound Ask GMS segment, where we're going to answer your questions about the scholarship. Hashtag, I'm sorry. Hashtag or Octothorpe. I mean, one of the. But we're going to answer your questions. Do you want me to step out or stay? Okay.
So we had some really great questions on the hashtag AskGMS Twitter site, and as well as a number of questions from your comments. So I have a question here from Rafael Ceja. What are we doing at the freshman leadership conferences?
Great question. Well, what we're going to be doing at the Freshman Leadership Conference is we're going to be introducing you to all of the staff, that you'll be working with while you have the scholarship. So you'll meet the operations team, you'll meet members from the leadership development team, and you'll meet people from the outreach and recruitment team, as well as from your specific partner organization, whether it be HSF, AIGCS, or API-ASF. So what we'll be doing is onboarding you and teaching you some of the skills that you'll need in order to be successful on campus and how to matriculate at a university, as well as some of the things you need to know about the scholarship.
All right, our next question comes from Monique, and we're going to pass this question off to Maria. The question is attendance to the Virginia or California conference required? Maria?
Well, it's not required, but it's highly recommended. It's such an amazing experience. I can't even tell you. You're going to meet so many amazing students. You're going to meet students from your region, from your institution. You're going to meet some amazing speakers, inspirational speakers. You're going to meet staff. You know, I, as a staff member, I always leave inspired, and I can only imagine what it feels like to be a scholar. So although it's not required, it's highly recommended. And I think that if you don't attend, you would really lose out, and you'll really, you know, regret it. So please make an effort to attend. We do offer, you know, a letter from the GMS program to excuse you from your classes. Again, it's worthwhile, and it's worth, you know, making up those assignments when you get back.
Reba's going to answer the next question.
Hi, everyone. This question is right below from Ebele regarding the FAFSA. And so the question is regarding whether you have to fill out a FAFSA every year, and what if after the first year you're no longer Pell Grant eligible. And the answer is yes, you do need to fill out a FAFSA every year for renewing your scholarship, and we'll also ask you for some other documents on the GMS side. So please keep in touch with us around the transcript time in January, as well as over the summer, to let us know that you're renewing the scholarship. However, you do not need to be Pell Grant eligible after your first year. So to apply to the scholarship, you must be Pell Grant eligible, but if your financial situation changes and you're no longer Pell Grant eligible after the first year, that's okay. You will not lose your scholarship.
All right, I'm going to pass the next question off to Gabe. All right, this question comes from John, and John asks us, is GMS Fight Club a real thing? Gabe, go ahead and tackle that one.
The GMS Fight Club. I don't know if I could speak intelligently on this. I have not experienced the GMS Fight Club, being a Gates alum from the class of 2002. And going through, I don't think I've ever been a part of the Fight Club under the GMS banner. So I have to say that I don't know anything about it. Marcus, you might know more than I, and I will refer back to you.
So I have never heard of the GMS Fight Club before. Maybe John could give us some more information about that. So John, if you can tweet us at Gates Scholars, we'd be more than happy to
Ask GMS.
Get some more information about that for you. All right, the next question comes from Ashleah, and she asked, does Gates cover the cost of health insurance? The short answer is that we will cover the cost of health insurance if your institution will include it in your cost of attendance. So this question really is broad. Someone else asked if we would cover the cost of musical instruments, and you know, the short answer is that we will cover any educational costs that your financial aid office will include in your cost of attendance. That includes study abroad. That includes a number of other things that, you know, are relevant to your education. The best advice I can give you today is to become very, very close with your financial aid advisors. You can always reach out to us in the office to find out who your representative in the financial aid office is. We'd be more than happy to give you that information, but all of your questions should probably be directed first to your financial aid office because they can answer most of your questions. All right, I'm going to pass the next question off to Maria. This one comes from, let's see. Give us 1 second, updating Twitter. All right. Scholars want to know about living off campus. What do they need to do if they want to move off campus? So I'll pass it over to Maria.
So if you want to live on campus, number one, we encourage you to live on campus your first year. You know, living in the dorms is a great experience, and it really helps you get acclimated your first year, really, you know, meeting other scholars on campus, other students. If you do want to live off campus, we encourage you, obviously when you complete your FAFSA, you want to indicate that you will be living off campus. You should also notify your financial aid advisor to let them know that you are looking at off-campus housing, because when they do your cost of attendance, your cost of attendance needs to reflect off-campus housing. And so the amount that's awarded to you is based on whatever they allocate or give to students from that institution who are living off-campus. We do have a frequently asked questions for off-campus housing. So if you let us know, we can post it on the 2014 Facebook group, and we can also email that to you directly. But that is an option, and it'll still be covered under your cost of attendance. However, we encourage you to live on campus your first year.
Hi, we have another great question coming in from Twitter, and it's from Nanalina, and it's, how do I know who my partner organization is? We are sending out packets to you, and those packets are coming from your partner organization, and we already did. You should already have it. If there are any questions, however, as to if you still are having a question and have not received it, it is posted in our Facebook groups, 2014 Gates Millennial Scholars, which you should absolutely join so you can have all of the love of Mama Panda Bear. So I definitely recommend that, absolutely. She gives lots of love.
All right, the next question is going to be for Gabe, and this question is, Gates already paid for my fall semester. What happens to my other scholarships that are being sent the first weeks of school? Gabe?
So with your, again, the way the Gates Scholarship works is that we're a last dollar scholarship award. So whenever you're receiving a certain amount of scholarships, aid from the federal government or otherwise, those items will take care of their part of the cost of attendance. And so your cost of attendance will be reduced based on those items, and whatever's left over is what Gates is going to cover. So Gates is always going to be coming in at the very last behind the other scholarships and financial aid items. So that's the short answer to that question. For all your other scholarships you're receiving, Gates is going to cover whatever's left over after those items take care of their part of the cost of attendance. So I'll leave you with that.
All right, the next question also comes from Twitter. That question is, what GPA must I keep to maintain the scholarship? It's a great question. Most schools, the answer is 2.0. The official policy is that you have to maintain satisfactory academic progress. We do offer academic empowerment services, so if you are having challenges on campus after your first semester, we actually review all transcripts submitted by freshmen, and what we'll do is we'll reach out to you to provide you with some advice and some strategies to raise your GPA. But it's very difficult to lose the Gates Scholarship, and we will work with you to make sure that if you're having challenges on campus that we can assist you with raising your GPA, connecting you with resources on campus to make sure that you are getting everything that you need, not only out of your experience at your institution, but also out of the Gates Millennium Scholars Program. I am going to pass it back to Manea. The next question is, I'd like tips and the policy on transferring to another institution.
Okay, so if you're transferring to another institution, number one, we want to know why you want to transfer. We really encourage students to give their institution at least a year. You know, identify why it is that you want to transfer. Is it because you're not feeling that that's the right fit? Maybe you're in the wrong major. Maybe you haven't joined student org. So, you know, we encourage you to reach out to our office, whatever your partner office may be, or if you have a campus engagement manager at your region, you know, reach out to us. We can have that conversation with you. If you do decide to transfer, you know, you will have to notify GMS. So we will need a copy of your admissions letter stating that you've been admitted to that institution. And then when you request funding, you will have to include that new institution as your institution of choice so that GMS knows to send your money directly to that institution. But before, you know, as a freshman, it sort of concerns me that you're already thinking about transferring, so we really encourage you to reach out to one of us and let's have that conversation before you do so.
All right, our next question comes from YouTube. The question is from Sadia Arshad and Sadia Arshad? Okay, I'm sorry. And the question is, when is the due date to make a cost of attendance adjustment? The due date for the fall is October 1st. The second due date for the spring is March 1st. Am I correct? All right. So those are the two due dates. And for revisions, you can make a revision, if I'm not mistaken, and the financial aid department can make 2. All right, each semester.
All right. The next question is going to go out to Gabe. The next question is, how does the travel process work for the conferences?
Okay, so the travel process that works for both conferences are GMS will actually you actually have already received notification emails from GMS with regard to registering, and that's the first part of the process. Is actually going to the website, registering, and there will be a number of prompts in there, and GMS will then follow up as we get closer to the leadership conferences, and then we will reach out to you in regard to how do we need to situate your flying arrangements, whether you're going to be flying out of a particular city, and which city you're going to be flying into. GMS will be taking care of all those travel arrangements as far as costs go, so you don't have to worry about that. What you do have to worry about is making sure that you get to the airport in time. Make sure that you arrive with enough time to grab a ticket. For many of you, it'll be your first time traveling by air if you are flying. So it's important that you understand that process and get to know and talk to folks that have done that before, so that you are aware of how early you need to get there, what you need to bring, what you need to not bring. But Gates is going to take care of you in that regard. We're going to make sure that you get a flight to and from the conference site, and we'll make sure that when you arrive at the airport near the conference, that we'll get you transportation on the ground to the airport as well. For those of you that are going to be driving in, if you're that close to the conference site, depending on which side of the Mississippi you live on, if you live close enough to the conference site, GMS will also get those details to you, exactly what time you need to arrive, making sure that you get dropped off in time and that you're also picked up on time. So that's typically how it's going to work. So again, like I say, if you haven't registered for the leadership conference yet, or if you have not received the notification yet, make sure you do so. Register right when you get that notification in the email. So that way GMS can have enough time to get your travel arrangements set up perfectly. Also wanted to just add to Evan's statement on the revision request. I just wanted to throw a clarification out there that the deadline for revisions, all revisions every year, is March 1st. Every scholar is allowed one revision request per academic year, so it's very important that you have a good conversation with your financial aid office to ensure that they've reported to us the most accurate information with regard to your cost of attendance, if there's any decreases or increases prior to submission of that information, and if you're going to be receiving any additional scholarships after the time of your award confirmation. So again, you have one time as a scholar per academic year to submit a revision request. And with that, I'll leave you.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So we got a great question from Aaliyah Jade. Do we get a stipend every semester to use for what we need? And the quick answer is no, you don't get a stipend. But real quick, I'm going to explain how the GMS award is allocated. So when you talk to your financial aid office, they decide a cost of attendance. And so whatever that cost of attendance, we subtract that from your estimated family contribution. So some people might know it as your student contribution or parent contribution. It's those two things added up. So whatever that is, minus your cost of attendance, and then if you have other scholarships, we won't take those away from you, but whatever is left over in your cost of attendance after your EFC and other scholarships, we will pay for. And so that could include personal expenses, that could include housing, that could include, it will include tuition and all of those other things. But if you have personal expenses or expenses for books or things like that, you may get it in the form of a refund. And so after your housing, tuition, bills, all those things that go straight to your university, after those things are paid, then you'll be getting some sort of refund check. And so that refund check is what you use for your personal expenses, for your books, for other fees or meals or things like that that you have to pay for out of pocket. So I would advise you to not take that refund check and go spend it immediately. Set aside some of that money to save up for the next semester. So say you are studying abroad, or say you're doing something else, and maybe your check takes a little bit longer one semester to get to you. You want to have some money saved so that you're not scrounging for funds if your check does come in late. So when you get that refund check, think of it as a stipend, and think of it as a set aside amount for you to keep for yourself, so you're not spending it all in one place.
All right, next question is going to be for Gabe. The next question is going to be, does the scholarship help fund medical school? Gabe, if you will, talk about the 7 areas that we fund for graduate school.
Absolutely, I can go ahead and address that question. So medical school. So as you
You're
know,
muted.
Oh. Can you hear me all right?
I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. So with regard to medical school, Gates, the short answer is Gates does not cover for medical school. At the undergraduate level, you can study any field that you would like. There's no bound to that. So whether you're talking about a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts, any field that you want to study, you can do so. If you want to do biology or pre-med as an undergrad degree, you can definitely do that with Gates as preparation for medical school. However, with Gates, once you get to the master's level or the PhD level, Gates would have you enter in one of the 7 funded areas, and those funded areas are education, engineering, mathematics, science, computer science, and public health, and library science if I didn't mention that already. But these are the 7 fields that you would seek with GMS funding. Public health would be the closest one to a health providing career, and a lot of medical students and doctors will pursue degrees in a Master of Public Health, but that's not medical school. So Gates will not cover your funding to cover medical school. However, what I like to always share with Gates scholars and myself is I'm also included in this, is that your dreams may lie elsewhere. Gates may not be able to cover a particular field that you want to pursue to include medical school if that's your decision. But allow Gates to take you as far as it can. Allow it to give you a really good base at the undergraduate level. Maybe you want to pursue a master's in public health or a doctoral program in public health, and then after you're finished pursuing those ventures, go ahead and pursue the medical school if that's what you want to do, and then fulfill the dreams as you see fit. Gates can take you as far as it can, but only you can fulfill the dreams that you have for yourself. So don't let Gates hold you back. Gates does fund any area in the undergraduate level. When you get into the graduate level and you want to consider Gates funding, we'll be able to fund you in those 7 funded areas. Thanks.
Can I add to that?
16.
You sure can.
Hi, scholars. So I wanted to add to that. I think a lot of times, we hear you wanting to go to medical schools, business school, law school, any professional schools, which are not covered by Gates. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. Really follow your bliss. If that's what you want to do, and it's not a part of the 7 funded areas, that's completely fine. There's a lot of great resources out there that will offer funding and opportunities for first-gen students of color. So, you could still stay connected with GMS in other ways, but if medical school and one of those professional schools is what you want to do, go to your career center, visit your graduate school center, and find out what other opportunities are out there. Again, follow your bliss. If you want to do medical school and then maybe do a master's in public health or do one of the 7 funded areas, you can also do that. So we can help you sort of walk through that, explore those options, but don't feel like you have to go into one of those 7 funded areas if that's not where your passion is.
All right, Maria, we have another question, and we're going to stay with you. Another scholar asked, when is the best time to study abroad?
Great question. I think definitely not your freshman year, but I would say that you should definitely start visiting your study abroad office and sort of exploring what options they have, depending on your major as well. Some of the STEM fields are a little bit harder, so you want to definitely have a good plan, because if you are on a sort of a very strict track in terms of what classes you can take every term, it might be a little bit difficult. So GMS does not fund summer study abroad, so keep that in mind. You'd have to study abroad during the academic school year. But visit your study abroad office. Freshman year, get sort of learning about what programs are available. GMS only funds programs during the academic school year, as well as programs that are funded and sponsored by your institution. So it can't be a third party. It has to be a program that is sponsored by your institution. And a ton of our scholars have done study abroad, so I really encourage you to ask, and find out and talk to students about their programs, what they liked, disliked. And really test the waters. That's one thing I regret. When I was in college, I didn't have the opportunity to study abroad, so I really encourage you to do so. If you want to study abroad over the summer, there are organizations that will pay, there's scholarships available and other programs, so don't let that discourage you. But if you want Gates to pay for it, it has to be during the academic school year. But I would say go for it and do it as many times as you can.
Let me see if I question. I'll answer a question from YouTube. Someone asked, will we have enough free time during the conference? My textbooks are heavy and big, and I'm sure there will be plenty of homework by then. So if the schedule is too full, I won't bring my textbooks. So we do encourage you to bring your textbooks. We have a lounge set up for you to study. And there will be a lot of activities for you to participate in, but you are scholars first. Remember that. So yes, bring your textbooks, do your homework, and you're going to also have a great time. So I see Gabe is trying to escape, so I will throw another question to Medea. Medea. Ask, how does GMS factor in whether or not a scholar is worthy of receiving a graduate program scholarship?
How does GMS, repeat the question for me?
They basically want to know how do they remain eligible for funding for grad school.
Okay, so as we indicated, there's 7 funded areas: mathematics, engineering, science, computer science, public health, education, and library science. If you want to pursue one of these 7 funded areas, you'll have to let us know which programs you're interested in, and what you do is you will submit a graduate program inquiry form. We call it GPIF for short. It's all in your GMS guidelines, and again, you guys are incoming freshmen, so you have some time. But you will submit one of those online forms and basically let us know what programs you're interested in, the name of your institution, the type of program, what 7 funded area it falls under, and a link to the program. And then GMS will look at it. Your partner organization will take a look at your inquiry. We'll make a recommendation whether or not it falls within the guidelines of what we fund, and then GMS headquarters will make a final decision. So you can actually submit as many inquiries, graduate program inquiries, as you would like. And so in order for your program to be funded, it has to be accepted. through GMS. So that's why it's really important that you work ahead so that you are researching programs before you actually apply and put in all the work and effort, because it might not be funded by GMS.
Can I go ahead and add to that as well?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Again, Maria went into great detail in that process, and I think for all of you that are going to be considering grad school, it's important for you to submit that graduate program inquiry form, or the GPIF, as you're getting ready for grad school. So typically, maybe your sophomore year, if you're that much anxious about seeing if a program is eligible for GMS funding or not. Many of you will do it during your junior year. Many of you will do it also during your senior year. I would advise you not to wait till the last minute. So begin to think about those things as you get closer to graduation. But the idea that I also wanted to talk about is, with these 7 funded areas, again, the question is oftentimes asked, why are there just 7? How come we don't fund everything? It was found that these 7 areas were the areas that our ethnic groups were most underrepresented. So in an effort to incentivize entrance into these programs and leaders in these fields, these are the 7 that we will be funding. Furthermore, what does it mean? I mean, what's a science program? Does that mean a Bachelor of Science, or excuse me, a Master of Science in Psychology? The answer to that question is found in the GMS Administrative Guidelines, and we'll talk about that when you go to the Leadership Conference. But I just wanted to say, all 7 areas are listed and they're defined well in the Administrative Guidelines. So I would encourage you to check that out if you have the time to do so, and look at them and really inform yourself about what Gates is looking at when we're talking about a public health program. What does that entail? What does that look like? What is an education program? What's an acceptable education program with Gates? So take a look at that and inform yourself. And if there's questions, you can always reach out to your partner office and talk to the staff member that helps with the graduate program review, and we'll answer your questions.
And I'm back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to preface my question that I received off of YouTube with letting you guys know that we'll be answering questions for the next 10 minutes on Twitter and on YouTube. So I just wanted to let you guys know we have 10 minutes left to answer your questions. Please submit them via YouTube or Twitter. And I want to go into this question because a lot of you will be asking this in the next few months. How do I sign up for Alternative Spring Break? Well, the way you sign up for Alternative Spring Break is that we send out a call for applications. We'll send out the application link via, I think it's vertical response. You'll receive an email that, and it'll be posted on Facebook, that will be calling for scholars to send applications for Alternative Spring Break. This year we're going to be going west of the Mississippi. I'm not sure of the exact location. I know that Seattle's been thrown out there. There are a few other cities. So right now we're in the process of trying to figure that out. But what we do call for in these applications are an interest in public health, education, and sometimes library science, because we do most of our community service based around those 3 criteria. So you must have a passion for those 3 things. I know this past year we went to Boston, Massachusetts. We did some awesome work in the community. We went from food banks to building cribs for babies to also painting schools. So you have a lot to look forward to. And we stayed in a nice hotel, got great service, ate well. But for applications, you must have a 3.0 GPA. You also must complete the essay questions that are required for you in the application, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, complete the leadership assessment form. So you must take that course and complete it and take the exam at the end. And once you submit your application, you will be scored, and we will send you a response saying that you're invited. You'll receive a plane ticket, you'll come out, you'll work hard for 7 days, and you'll have a great time. So we're looking forward to a lot of you, a lot of our new scholars joining us in Alternative Spring Break this year on the West Coast. Thank you.
All right, we have another question for Maria. Maria, the question is, what do I do if I don't have a campus engagement manager or a campus-based organization?
Oh, that's a tough one. So those of you that aren't in a region that has a CEM, we don't want you to feel left out. I adopt every scholar that reaches out to me. I'm very active on Facebook, and I know that my Marcus, who's in the Southeast region, as well as Colin D, who's in the Northeast region, we all have Facebook groups, and so you can join one of those as well. If you are at an institution that perhaps doesn't have a campus-based organization or a campus-based leader, but maybe there's more than one of you, maybe between at least 10 scholars, you can actually create your own campus-based organization. We actually encourage you to do so, because by becoming an official student organization, you actually have more opportunities. You have funding available for you as a student organization. You can reserve rooms on campus, and you can become more of a cohesive group. For us, we really encourage you to reach out to other GATE scholars, because we want you to create community on campus. And by supporting one another, it really will help you sort of continue to stay connected with GMS. Again, if you don't have a CEM, you can always reach out to us. Even if you're not within our region, we're still here to support and help you with any questions you might have. But if you do have more than 10 students, we would encourage you to actually create a student org, and we can help you with that process. We can guide you and really provide you with those steps.
Hi everyone. So our next question is off the Ask GMS Twitter hashtag. I heard that GMS gives the scholars a break before starting a master's. Is it true? And after the break, continue being a scholar? So yes, it is true. So earlier I talked to you a little bit about the renewal process. So every summer we will get in contact with you. We'll be sending you emails, so make sure your contact information is updated. But we'll be sending you emails about renewal and or deferment. And so that break that this question was about is called deferment. And so if you need a break, whether it's a year, up to a year during your undergraduate, or between your undergraduate and your master's program, or between other times during your college career, we do allow for scholars to have a break. And this is something this is something that you would just need to let us know about at that same time. So say you need to take some time because of a personal hardship, or because of between your undergrad and grad school, you just need a break. After you let us know, and you have to definitely keep us in the know of what you're doing, and give us any proper documentation and things like that. We will approve or deny your deferment for whatever reason that is. So if it's a good reason, then we'll just ask you for more information and make sure that you are not just kind of taking a break just to take a break, but that you have a plan set out and all of those different things. So once you do deferment, then you are still a scholar. And so even after you finish your time with us, after you have finished your funding, you're considered a GMS alum. So that's my program, and we'll tell you more about that later.
All right, and the very last question is going to go to our friend Gabriel. Gabriel, a lot of scholars are asking questions about books. How do they get books? How do they pay for books? Can you give them some advice about how to do that?
Absolutely. So yeah, buying books, I mean, that'd be an important thing. Obviously, you're going to be going to class, and you have assigned books, and most, if not all of them. So how do you pay for them? Well, the Gates Millennium Scholarship, as has been mentioned a couple times in our presentation, this webinar, Gates is going to be accounting for the cost of attendance that's reported to us by your institution's financial aid office. And in that cost of attendance, one of the line items is books and supplies. So when we send your Gates Millennium Scholarship funds to your school, they will be received along with all your other scholarships, any Pell Grants that you're receiving, any other scholarship or financial aid items. All those will take care of their part, and then all of your cost of attendance. So at some point, as has already been mentioned here, that you can actually go to your business office and request a check if that's the way your school works. If you have direct deposit set up, you can actually have the amount of funds that are needed to pay for your books directly deposited into your bank account, along with all the other items that you will have access to. And so at some point in the game, you'll be able to utilize that money to pay for your books. Now, one of the things that occurs with GATE scholars, especially this first year, is that not knowing this process or exactly how it works at your school may create some kinks in the process, so you don't really know how to process them. You don't know if you can charge your books to your account at the bookstore, which in some of your cases you can do that. So many of you will not know, and some of you might have to pay for some of your books out of pocket, and then wait for your scholarship funds to all come in, and then once they hit your account and then process through, you'll be able to then have access, whether you have to request a check from the school or not. And so that's the way it will work. And so even a better answer to the question would be to make sure that you, again, are in very close contact with your financial aid office and the financial aid office staff, because they will know exactly the process that you need to do in order to have access to the your funding to cover the things like books. And once again, I did plug it earlier, but this is the GMS resource guide for scholars. It was sent to you in your scholar notification packet. It's about 20 pages long, if not less. But in this booklet, you'll find that you'll have answers to many of your questions. So if you could find, again, this resource guide, take a look through it and make yourself a master of the material that's in there, and then that way you'll be better aware of how to proceed with the GATE scholarship. So that was a long answer to how to cover your books, but the same thing works for the other items like transportation costs. Many of you will either fly to school, and then you'll be able to reimburse yourself when your scholarship funds come in. So again, be in contact with your financial aid office, know the resource guide, read it if you can, and then again, if you have questions, reach out to your GMS staff members, your campus engagement manager, and they'll be able to answer those questions as well. So before I end, again, Marcus, thank you so much for moderating. I did want to clarify one of my answers, actually the first answer to the first question about the GMS Fight Club. As you know, if there was one that did exist or was in existence, we wouldn't talk about it. So I yield my time. Thank you very much.
All right, Maria, you want any last advice for the scholars? Thank you so much for participating.
Scholars, we're just so excited to meet you. When you go to the leadership conference, you're going to get this really cool pin, and you're going to feel really empowered. We're all very proud of you. We're here to support you. Please do reach out. All of us have Facebook groups, as well as individual Facebook groups for each one of our schools. So, ask how you can join. I look forward to working with all of you, and if I can be of service, please don't hesitate to reach out, and enjoy what remains of your summer, and we look forward to meeting you at the Leadership Conference.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Gabe. This is Christina Wong Poi, also known as Auntie Panda Bear. I want to thank all of you for participating in our virtual send-off for the Freshmen GMS Class of 2014. And I'd like to also really especially thank Marcus Ware, Meg Roberto, Reba Monachan, and Evans Watson, and Kelvin Harris, also for participating this evening. But really, Marcus Ware has really got us off the ground here. This is our first virtual send-off this year. We are going to have another one later on, so stay tuned. If you have any other questions that didn't get answered this evening, please post those on YouTube, post them in our Facebook group, the GMS Class of 2014. The address of that is in your welcome packet on the inserts. Like Gabe mentioned, there is the GMS resource guide in the welcome packet. I want you all to read that. Make sure you read those inserts. I will be quizzing you at the conference. There are also the GMS treasure hunts. One is ending tonight. I'm going to be closing that this evening, so if you haven't participated in that, click on it now and participate. There's a chance to win a $50 American Express gift card. There will be 2 more GMS treasure hunts in the next coming weeks, so stay tuned. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to contact us through Freshmen, F-R-E-S-H-M-E-N, at gmsp.org. That's an email address. So you can send your other questions, especially the awarding questions, to that particular email address. Thank you and have a good evening.